They lead him towards their squad car, where they hand him into the rear seat. 2 others have disappeared down the close, the woolly sound of their footsteps swallowed almost immediately by the clinging mist. Now the only sounds are the crackling of the police radio and the chattering of the printer's teeth. Dr. Harry Gemmell hunkers by the body, his gloved fingers probing things that Detective Inspector Campbell Grant doesn't want to think about. Rather than study what the police surgeon is doing, Grant looks instead at the scene of crime officers in their white overalls. They are taking advantage of the portable lights to search the area around the body. The har is eating into Grant's very bones, making him feel like an old man. Eventually, Gemmell grunts and pushes himself to his feet, stripping the blood-streaked latex from his hands. He studies his chunky sports watch and gives a satisfied nod.
"Aye," he says. "September the 8th, right enough." "Meaning what, Harry?"
Grant asks wearily. He is already irritated by the prospect of enduring Gemmell's habit of forcing detectives to drag information out of him piecemeal.
"Your man here, he likes to play follow my leader. See if you can figure it out for yourself, Cam. There are marks on her neck that indicate manual strangulation, though I reckon she died from having her throat cut. But it's the mutilations that tell the story."
"Is all this supposed to mean something to me, Harry, apart from a good reason to lose my last meal?" Grant demands.
1888 in Whitechapel. 1999 in Edinburgh.
Gemmell raises an eyebrow.
"Time to call in the profilers, Cam."
"What the fuck are you on about, Harry?" Grant asks. He wonders if Gemmell's been drinking.
"I think you've got a copycat killer, Cam. I think you're looking for Jock the Ripper."
Chapter 1. Dr. Fiona Cameron stood on the very lip of Stanage Edge and leaned forward into the wind. The only kind of sudden death she might have to contemplate here would be her own, and then only if she was more careless than she thought she could manage. But just supposing for a moment she lost concentration on the wet millstone grit, she'd plunge down 30 or 40 helter-skelter feet, her body bouncing like a plastic doll on the jutting blocks of rock, bones and skin, broken and violated. She'd end up looking like a victim. No way, Fiona thought, letting the wind push her back from the edge just far enough to take the danger out of her position. Not here, of all places. This was the place of pilgrimage, the place where she came to remind herself of all the reasons why she was who she was. Always alone, she returned here 3 or 4 times a year, whenever the need grew in her to touch the face of her memories. The company of another living, breathing human would be impossible to bear up on this bleak stretch of moorland. There was only room for the 2 of them, Fiona and her ghost, that other half of herself who only ever walked beside her on these moors. It was strange, she thought. There were so many other places where she'd spent far more time with Leslie, but everywhere else was somehow marred by the consciousness of other voices, other lives. Here, though, she could sense Leslie without interference. She could see her face, open in laughter or closed in concentration as she negotiated a tricky scramble. She could hear her voice, earnest with confidences or loud with excitement of achievement. She almost believed she could smell the faint musk of her skin as they huddled together over a picnic. Here, more than anywhere, Fiona recognised the light she had lost from her life.